How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. My guest today is father, musician, and comedian Jay Rainville.
That's me.
Hey, brother.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here,
man.
Good to be in your bed.
Yeah, welcome, sir. This is where the magic happens. Not at all, but actually, I want to get a magician on.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know Mysterion?
From Spider-Man?
No. What's his actual
Is that
name?
Mysterio?
I know Brandon knows him, you know?
Okay, no, I don't. Ken Pham is a guy who puts on shows downtown, and I know that he's a magician. And that's the only magician I know.
Are you into magic?
No. Although I saw there was this kid, I've seen him on like talent shows or on TV. There's this kid who did like magic, but he also did it with this like super dry sense of humor while he did it, like poked fun at himself. And I thought, if you can be funny and a magician, then like you got it made.
Yeah, that's good. And you get a lot of those that are doing comedy shows too. If you just add a little bit of comedy, you know, people want to get you in there. I find it entertaining.
Well, and you don't have to be as funny as a magician as you need to be as a comedian.
Right. Yeah, because you actually have like a real solid skill set. You know, you're doing some serious shit.
Throw one-liners out there.
And I wasn't always into it. I feel like as a kid, I was that... like, even at like 10, like real like cynical kind. I just didn't really... I was like, that's not magic. They're just...
Yeah.
Well, and as like, I remember the exact point. Like, I used to live in Brampton. Do you know Brampton?
Yeah, a little.
Okay, Bramley City Center, the mall.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I was there, and I was coming out of... inside the mall, and I was going to the bus terminal, and there was some dude smoking there. Yeah. And everyone was talking about how he's a magician, and I was like whatever. I was probably maybe about 15. Something like that, 14 or 15. And so I went up to him and was like, hey man, you're a magician? And I did like the worst shit. Like now as a comedian, people are like, oh, you're a comedian? Like tell me a joke. Yes. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So now I realize like maybe shouldn't have done that, but he changed my whole view on magic because he like, I literally just bought this new, I was like a skater back then.
Yes, okay.
And so I just bought this new Osiris shirt.
Okay.
And like I was rocking it.
I used to have the biggest globe shoes you've ever seen.
Yeah, they're comfy though.
Oh my gosh, skate shoes are the comfiest. I kind of felt bad, but like once you like, I'm 38. There was like a point where I was like, I'm too old to wear this stuff anymore.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like a couch on your foot.
Oh, 100%. Like it's the greatest. I love that time in the 2000s where skate shoes were the rage.
Did you wear like really baggy pants at one point?
So yeah, I'm old enough to have fully embraced and enjoyed the 90s. Yeah. So like, I would try to skateboard with like fucking Chinkos on.
Yeah,
They'd, like, caught my skateboard, I'd go flying.
Yeah, and this snake, I had like these snake eye pants from Stitches.
Oh gosh.
That had like an alien with like glow sticks on the back of them. I bought like 10 pairs, bro.
Did you rave?
Not at that time.
No, okay.
Like after I raved and I wore like baggy pants, but not the snake eyes Jinko era, you know?
My parents were too strict. I was never allowed to be out of the house late enough to ever go to one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like raised in foster homes. I didn't really, so I was like kind of be home by like 11, you know, pretty much every night or whatever. But yeah, dude. So this guy, he like grabs my new shirt. Yeah. And he starts like doing this to it. So like, you know, there's kind of like, it kind of looks like a shirt asshole. Yes. Yeah. I don't know if these guys can see it, but that's, you know, and then he took his cigarette, which was almost done. Yeah. And he like shoved it in the hole that he just made in my shirt. And I was like, bro, I bought this shirt like 10 minutes ago. What are you doing? It's like this like kind of light baby blue color. So like, I'm like, oh yeah, thanks dude. Yeah. And he like, you know, takes his hand out from under my shirt and there's nothing there. And then he like fucking pulls the cigarette out of his mouth. I was like, dude! Yes. And that was it. I was like, it was the first time I had ever seen like magic close up.
Yeah, that seems like good quality magic. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I could see that. I just remember being a kid and like watching a magic show and thinking like, there's tricks to all of these. It's just one lie after another.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like now I just feel like, well, that is what magic is. Yes. Like, I don't necessarily believe people can levitate, but making it look like you levitate is an art. That's magic to me, you know? Yeah.
Well, and comedy is too. Yeah. So my wife was saying that to me today. She's like, I was telling her like a joke. I came up with a joke. It's just like, you want to hear my wife's favorite joke? My salary. Yeah. she's just like, all right, is everything just a lie? I'm just like, yeah, as long as it's believable.
Yeah, totally. My girlfriend just thought like everything I said. I remember like I have a joke about having herpes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when she heard it for the first time, I felt like it was kind of like off-putting, and she was looking at me,
wondering if you.
Like, I do not have herpes, you know. So I'm like obviously you want to make it seem believable, but it's not. Sometimes I just make shit up, completely make it up, out of nowhere.
Yeah, if it's if it's relatable and believable, then it'll hit.
Do you have like a certain process? Like how do you write your jokes down?
I have two ways. I'll do either the coincidental, so stuff that you just like run into or think of during the course of your day, and I'll just write that or say it into my phone.
Or like you say something and someone laughs and you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the other times I'll sit down and I'll have like set writing time, and so the first thing I'll do is I'll free write, which is almost like journaling for like 10 minutes, where I'm just writing whatever's in my head, no editing, no anything, just writing and not censoring what I say. And then I'll do an exercise where I'll take like 10 everyday words and then think of like 5 ways that they can be used, like different ways.
Okay.
Like the word up, like grow up, sit up, get up, hit up, like, right? So those ways that you can like take something every day and find like a different way to use it, right? Because that's like the key to reverse jokes, like Justin like does, where it'll take you one direction and go somewhere else. So, and then and then whatever. So I'll try to take like something from my life, or I'll maybe work on specific joke types, like reverses or wordplay, or 3-way builds or things like that. Take news articles and make jokes out of that. So I have times where I just think of stuff, and then I'll try to write down intentionally, or sometimes I'll write a story, like something that happened in my life, not funny, and then insert the jokes, because like every sentence is a setup.
Yeah.
Right? So then try to work stuff out that way. So, but I'm still new to this, right? So I'm just trying to get my feet wet.
Yeah, I'm actually exactly what you just were saying about telling a story and inserting jokes, because when I was in high school, because I was kind of into music. I know you were in a band. We can talk about that in a bit, but I was like into music. I'm still kind of into music. Slowly working on an album right now.
Okay,
for real.
Yeah,
but,
that's cool.
Just have so many things going on that it's just not going.
What kind of music?
Like hip hop, rock type stuff.
Okay.
Like a mix, like
rap rock.
Somewhat. Like 2 songs have like acoustic guitar, but hip hop drums, and there's a heavier song, like kind of like a metal rap song, and then there's a couple that are just straight hip hop. So I mean, like it varies. Maybe one I guess could even border on some sort of house.
Yeah, that's
sound,
cool. That's awesome. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to categorize. That's cool. Yeah, for me, I was like, I was never much of a writer. Whenever I try to actually create music on my own, I would always hate it or felt it was derivative, and like just I could never get as far in it as I wanted to. Even as a player, I was never as good as I wanted to be, and I didn't love it enough to practice to get there. If that makes sense. Which is a weird thing about doing comedy is I feel so much more like achievement and satisfaction out of doing comedy than I ever did.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more highs and lows, in comedy, but it makes it exciting, when I definitely hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have this story about being in a talent show in high school, and I'm probably going to do it for the first time at the monthly show on October 29th, 11 p.m. at Comedy Bar.
You should go.
Yeah, I'll probably do it the first time there. And it's just, so, I don't know, I started in middle school basically being into music, and I did grade 7, grade 8 talent show, Anthem for the Year 2000, and Brain Stew.
Okay.
And then in high school, I didn't do anything in grade 9 or grade 10 because like I was in foster homes, like I said, and like basically the school system believes that anyone in foster homes has like behavioral problems. So they put you in like a special class. So I started out like high school in this, it was called Section 19. And it's basically, there would be like CYW social workers that would stay in the class and make sure nobody misbehaved.
Yeah, my high school had those kids. I think it was called the TIP program or something like that. And it was like all the kids that like you didn't want to fuck with.
That was me, bro. But I was
some like, of them were cool, but like some of them were like, you could tell that they were just like on the edge.
There were a couple. There were definitely a couple, but and they slowly started to realize like, all right, he's not one of those, and they slowly integrated me into grade 9. I was in that class completely, like just one portable for all day, you know, and I was missing out on all the social interaction. And then in grade 10, they slowly integrated me. Grade 11, I was fully in normal.
Nice.
And so in grade 11, you know, met a bunch of people outside of like the crew that was in the portable.
Are you young enough to have only had grade 12?
What do you mean?
Like I did OAC.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have to do fifth year, but I ended up doing it because I failed and like I was in summer school a lot.
Yeah.
So in grade 11, I met with these guys and like, you know, Limp Bizkit was fucking hot then, you know. I'm still pretty into Limp Bizkit and so
they're on the come up again.
They are, dude.
They are.
I actually really having like their new song.
There's like a new metal renaissance going on.
It's crazy. But so I met with these guys and really it was just a guitar player, a drummer, and me like singing.
Yeah.
And for some reason we're like, let's do break stuff. Like this is horrible. Like we're like I have to. There's so many swear words in break stuff.
Yes.
And so, but really I think at the time, it was more like it was cool. We would like practice in like the stairwell. Like me and the guitar player would get like amps and like a mic and he'd bring his guitar and shit, and we'd just jam and like people would hang out and like it was we'd just do different songs and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun. No, when I was in high school. Music, I started playing when I was in junior high. I started on bass. And then, but when I was in high school, I was all about theater. I was a theater kid. Like, I was in grade 9, I auditioned for a play with some friends, and like, I was the only one that actually got cast. And so I'm like in this play with nobody I know. But yeah, I loved acting. And so, yeah, I was lead in most of the things that I did in high school. I didn't start... I was in music in 2 capacities. So this is... I'm sure you're going to have follow-up questions, which is 1. Most of the music I did was as a guitar player, and it was in the Christian praise and worship world. Mm-hmm. And then for about 3 years in my 20s, I was in a metalcore band.
Okay.
As the screamer.
That's a transition.
Yeah. But yeah, like in Christian praise and worship, like I've played in front of like thousands. Mm-hmm. And then... yeah, and now I'm at this place in my life where I just don't know really what I feel about all of it.
Yeah, all right. So you did vocals for the heavy band?
Yes, yeah, I did. I took lessons. Mm-hmm. I took learned. I bought the DVDs from Melissa Cross. Do you know her? She's like a classic vocal teacher.
What, like older white lady?
White lady teach you how to scream.
But she does. Yeah, totally. I totally know who she is.
Yeah. So I had her DVDs. I actually did like lessons with this lady who used to. Like, she was in music theater in Toronto, so she was in, like, the Lion King and the Lord of the Rings musicals when they were here, so she taught me how to, like, place properly so I wouldn't lose my voice.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, so I was in a metalcore band for a while, and but over time, it was pretty thankless. It's a lot. You gotta really love it, and by the time I was doing that, I was done university, I had a job, I was married, and it just was, like, I got married pretty young.
Yeah.
So it was... and the rest of the guys I was in the band with weren't as committed to it, so it's hard to like pull other people along. But it was a good time. I'm glad I did it. I don't regret it. But like, yeah, the music life was not my full-time thing.
Yeah.
Like at the time, the band who was really blowing up in Toronto was called Structures.
Okay.
They got signed to Sumerian Records, which is like the same label that Periphery is on.
Yeah.
Born of Osiris and stuff like that. So like they made it pretty big, and like they were all in their late teens, like in high school, didn't have jobs, weren't in school, so they could just throw 100% of themselves into doing that.
Yeah. Did you do any talent shows though?
No talent shows.
Never,
I never did talent shows. I would I was the theater kid. I had shows.
Okay. Yeah, so the drummer that we were supposed to do the actual tryout for,
yes,
we never had jammed with.
Okay.
Okay, and we would see him all the time. He would come to like what we were doing and like watch us like, you know, sing and play guitar or whatever, and fucking he would always just be like, yo, look, I'm ready. And he brought like, I don't know, like sheet music. I don't read sheet music.
Yes.
Like I can play, but
I know tabs.
Yeah.
I know tabs, but I don't know. Yeah.
And so he's just like, well, yeah, like I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. Okay. And so we had faith in him.
Yeah.
And then this other guy, Sergio, who's really into like martial arts.
Okay.
And shit, he's like, yo, you should let me come and do like this like karate, like martial arts freestyle type deal. Okay, so yeah, dude, just
is that like capoeira or whatever?
I don't know, something along those lines though. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I don't know exactly what it was though. So you know, the day comes for tryouts. No, yes. The capoeira. Yeah, that's right. I fucking just know that from Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, okay.
You watch that shit?
Sometimes.
You don't know the guy who does it fucking down the street? Oh man. Okay, so the tryout comes and you know we're on stage and we go after this band that like just crushed. I think they did like a Sublime song. I can't remember what one it was. And
oh, you just got one song.
Yeah, the tryout is just like, you know.
Oh, the tryout. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm
and
with
so they do their song and the drums are left from the drummer. We arranged just so our guy could play on those, and you know how break stuff starts and the guitar riff goes.
Yeah.
And then when I go like, it's just one of those days, you know, the drums like kick in, like it pops in.
Yeah.
And this guy's just sitting there. On the drums, bro. Didn't touch anything. The whole song, dude. I'm not shitting you. It's just like this. And we have this one guy with like these two fucking like Nightwing. What are those fucking sticks called?
Nunchucks?
No, not nunchucks because there wasn't a thing.
But they're short like that.
Yeah, they're like this long. And he has two of them, and he's like doing this thing, and it looks cool, but like the whole thing is just a mess. There's no cohesion. It's just like it's just crazy. So it's just guitar and me singing, and this guy jumping around on stage, kicking like at the air, and fucking.
What did he say after?
God, nothing, dude, nothing. He's just like, I think he apologized, and that was it. And like,
he bit off more than he can chew. That's so funny.
Like nothing, bro. Nothing. You couldn't bring. Even I can play like super bass. Like I can play brain stew on drums.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say like drumming is one of the hardest instruments I've tried to play and just can't play.
Yeah, I drummed for a little bit at a very basic level, and then when I stopped being around them, I lost it completely. But yeah, that's so funny. So his audition for your band was also your band's audition for the talent show. So I'm assuming you got on the talent show.
No. No, not at all. And like towards the end, I was just like, why? Like we're not getting it. Like I just knew in my mind, I was like, this is a mess. This is ridiculous, you know? And so I just started letting out the swear words. You know? Like I think for a while I was saying like, instead of motherfucker,
frickin' face tonight.
Instead of like motherfucker, I was saying like Uncle Trucker, and I was like replacing things like that in like the first 2 minutes, and then like the rest of the song, I was just like, it's over.
It's over.
I'm just gonna swear.
That's funny. That's really funny. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done when I was in the metalcore band, we would do these shows. Like I did the Rock Pile once, and like it was like all these bands and this freaking like group of high school kids went on before us, and like half their band didn't show up, so they just played acoustic, and we're in front of like a metal band, like, and we had these kids, and everybody leaves, so we're just like playing for like 4 people. It's like, of course, the show my parents come to.
Yeah.
So
I had feel like my first real bomb, and like granted, like every set I'm pretty much unhappy with something. You know? Yeah, but like I haven't really, since I've come back, I haven't really considered anything a bomb until my last
Where
show.
was this?
Fucking Richmond Hill, like Archibald's.
Oh, Archibald's, yes, yeah.
Comedy.
I did there 3 times in a row, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was it?
The first show was well attended, and I think it did pretty well. Peter Saran said I killed. That was a big compliment for me.
Yeah,
and then funny. Yeah, he's funny. He's legit. And then second show there was barely any crowd. So I just kind of had fun with the comics. The third time I hosted, barely any crowd. But again, just had every time I went, I had a great time. But
yeah, the attendance was good. But I kind of, man, at a certain point, I was third.
Yes.
And no one really did great. Matt Render went just before me, and he was. I find him funny. I laughed at some of his stuff. Yeah. He laughed at some. He was like the only one really laughing at something.
I really like Matt Render. I like hanging out with him. I did Ice Queen, his show on Wednesday, and I was telling him like we should try to get out of town. We should try to do an out of town show. That'd be fun. Yeah, bombing, man. It's I think my first real bomb. Brandon brought me to this like industrial area in Woodbridge.
Was that for Jam Easy?
No.
The rooftop? Oh, okay.
No, not the rooftop one. It was I can't remember anything about it other than it was like this industrial area. It was like a garage that had been turned into like a theater.
All right.
Where this like guy puts on like plays that are based on mainstream movies and then make them Italian. Like My Big Fat Italian Wedding, the play.
Yeah, right.
Like,
very niche.
Yeah, so I go there, there's not a lot of crowd, and like this is my 11th show ever. 13th show ever, maybe? No, 13th show. And I try to do like, anybody know a contractor? Like, but nobody laughs at all. I try to do my basic stuff, and yeah, that hurt my soul. And then every time I ever did Hate Hut, I did Hate Hut 3 times. And I bombed the first 2 and only did well the third time. And I only did well because I just yelled at them. Like a dad.
I find as long as you're not on a show where like you just had like 3 killers and then you bomb, it's so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
When you see at least one person not do well before you, I find a little comfort and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try some new shit. I always feel that, like, fuck it, who cares? Like, I'm not going to be worse than him. Or like, you just know, like, all right, I see what I'm working with. I'm just not going to...
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
And I find comfort in that, but, I don't know. I forgot when. What do you consider a bomb?
I consider it a bomb. That's a good question. I think if you don't get any laughs at all, then you know for sure it's a bomb.
For sure
it's a bomb. I think there has to be audience. No, I don't even know if that's true. Because if you'd go in front of just comics,
that's completely different vibe to me. Do you know, like?
But then you can still bomb, but it's up to you to bomb. Like if you start to clam up, you know, you can bomb yourself.
Yes.
Even regardless of what the audience does. So that's also a thing. But what do I call a bomb? I think if you didn't get laughs most of the time, then it's a bomb.
Like, have you ever had someone like think you bombed and then you got off and then had someone come up to you and be like, oh, that was good, like, and like for real meant it, like was genuine, like obviously you have other comedians where it's like, good job, and everyone, you know, when other comedians know you bombed, it's just this unspoken thing. It's like, well, I'll see you next show, he's getting out of here right now, you know.
Yeah, I've had it where I always think that, like, if I'm what did they say in Talladega Nights, if you're not winning, you're losing, if you're not first, you're last. That's how I feel every show. So yeah, I've been like, I've said to myself, like, I've been on stage and be like, oh man, I'm bombing, and like somebody would be like, you're not bombing.
Yeah.
That's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am extremely hard on myself.
Like, if I forget, I could get laughs, you know, and like in my mind, I have certain ways that I'm like, oh, this joke ties in at the end to this, so I structure them in a certain way. Yep. Sometimes I flip it around just to see, you know, and like word things differently, and but like if I miss the order or I forget a joke because I'm doing like crowd work or something, and then I didn't, you know, get to one of my funnier jokes, I kind of like hate myself. And then people be like, "Oh, like that was a good set." And
but you just didn't meet the set of goals that you had put out for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
but that's
that
a bomb to me. That's a bomb to me, though.
Gotcha. I wouldn't call that a bomb.
No,
that's not a classical bomb. But yeah, you didn't. But it's, you can go up with your own set of goals and not hit those. And you can feel disappointed in your performance. But that doesn't, it definitely doesn't. If you got laughs, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like my girlfriend, like I would, elaborate to my girlfriend on our way home, you know, about how I thought I didn't do well. And she'd be like, everyone was laughing.
Yes.
And I record a lot of my shows, so I'll like go back and like listen and be like, oh, that kind of did hit, and like it just, and no one knows that you missed something or whatever, but in your mind you're like, no, but this was my funniest joke and I fucking didn't say it, or
or I don't know, I did a set last Sunday and like one joke that I do that always kills did not.
That sucks.
And like I just, you know what? And then I went into I did the setup for like my next joke, and then I got a laugh because like I talk about like Israel a little bit, and so like people didn't laugh, so I skated on past it, and that got the laugh. So I was like, okay, good, I'll take that. The tag worked.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Luckily though, the joke that it happened to for me recently was a joke about not being vaccinated.
Yes.
And not actually saying, like, because I'm vaccinated now. Yeah. But, like, the whole point of the thing was, like, I'm not saying I'm anti-vax, but I'm for sure going to wait it out on this one. You know? And, like, the point, I was kind of comparing taking the vaccine to, like, buying the Xbox when it first comes out, and you could possibly, I'm not trying to red ring my life, that kind of deal, you know?
That's a good incongruity joke, though.
And, like, it kind of fucking, it did well. Yeah. Up until the last time I did it, and then I knew my next show was going to be, after the passports go into effect. So I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to make fun of the anti-vaxxers or the people that don't want to get it, and I'm just kind of playing from the other side. Because really, I'm like so in the middle. I wish it wasn't forced upon me, but I'm very in the middle.
That's where I am. Like, I'm not opposed to the vaccine, but I am opposed to a government that can force me to get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I landed on it. But yeah, it's a big deal. People care about this vaccine. I don't know. I noticed that like the further downtown I get, the less hot takes I should be espousing.
Yeah.
Down the line, stick with marriage, kids, family, I'm fat. Kill, Israel, vaccine.
Yeah.
No, I'll stick that. I'll use that in the suburbs and kill, but downtown, no way.
Oh man. Yeah, actually, when I was I'm actually uncertain about my November show.
Yeah.
Because apparently a lot of people are recording specials right now, and Comedy Bar is like super swamped with dates.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a November show, but I have my December date booked for the 10th.
Nice. All right.
I think it's the 10th. Don't quote me. I'll let you know for sure on the next episode. But do you know Gary?
I've emailed him.
Okay, yeah, so...
Luke Lindale's told me about him.
He was like really slow getting back to me, and then he said something about getting an email, and someone complained about a joke, and like I think we're just at a certain, like at that point everyone had something relating to the vaccine, like some sort of, even if it was just like a one-liner or whatever it was, and so I didn't really know exactly what joke it was, but I think it might have been my joke, and I think it might have been someone who actually worked there that complained and was kind of worried. It's like, well, this guy does a monthly show here. He needs to be vaccinated. But I was actually, the last time I did it, I was half vaccinated. But I was like we said earlier, like...
It doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Well, yeah, because I know that there are certain comics who, like, they hang out at Comedy Bar. That's their place. And then now they can't go.
Yeah.
Right? So they're taking it seriously, but that doesn't mean you can't joke about it. Well, yeah, people are sensitive.
Yeah. And so I just kind of avoided... Like, I was like, oh, I apologize about that you got that email.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to, like, just, work my way around. Because I don't really want... Like, I'm not trying to apologize for my jokes. I'm not an overly offensive... Like, I'm not that trying to be edgy, but I'm really just an asshole comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my stuff is pretty down the line. I only really swear when I'm, like, emphasizing something. Like, I'm never crude. But what I am is very cancelable.
What do you think of... Did you see the new Chappelle special?
Yeah, I watched it. I think a few things. I think as a comedy special in and of itself, meh. I don't think it's the funniest thing he's ever done.
It's not the funniest thing
he's ever done. But I do think that because I have a comedy coach who's based in California, who knows Chappelle, and he basically said that what Dave did was on purpose. He was intentionally trying to take a stand against wokeness, using his platform, his deal with Netflix, to like put a jab out there that like people will have to talk about and won't be able to be canceled or taken down. So that's why he did it, and in that respect, I have tons of respect for it. So,
yeah, I agree. It's not the funniest thing he's done. And I was listening to a podcast earlier because you were coming over, so I was like tidying up a little bit, and someone was talking about it, and they were like, it felt more like a TED Talk, you know, and like I get it, like I think it was great. Yeah. I don't think it was the funniest thing, but I think like Chappelle is kind of riding that line. Like I heard him say, I've said this a bunch on here, but whatever, fuck it. It's legit. And he said like, you don't always have to be funny, but you need to be interesting.
Yes. Yeah. You got to keep them entertained.
And he's so smart that he has just a brilliant way of like painting a picture and showing I find it really hard to understand, and I pride myself on trying to understand both sides. It's like, okay, no matter what the situation is, sometimes when I'm on one side and I'm actually involved in the situation, it's a little hard to see, the forest through the trees. Yes. But as an outsider, I'm very much, doing that constantly. Yeah. And I just find it so hard to understand how someone could honestly be offended at the end of the special and everything he said. I just find it so I can't really understand it, man.
Like why people are so sensitive?
Why they think he's an asshole. Like everything he said didn't like he takes shots at white people, he takes shots at everybody. This is the thing. Even in this special he's saying like his trans friend, like before she ended up killing herself, that like spoilers. She was saying he fucking, if you haven't seen it now, get your shit together. And that she was saying like to punch down you have to think less of somebody, and he like doesn't, he doesn't punch down or up, he punches lines. I think that was the exact quote.
Well, and there's the one like do you know the Babylon Bee?
The what?
Have you ever heard of the Babylon Bee?
The Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you should. But it's like, it's the Christian Onion. But they go after everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Yeah. Like, AOC goes on The Price is Right and guesses that everything is free. Like, that's one of their fake headlines. They're amazing. And so their thing is like, we're not punching down, we're punching back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is this cultural force that has now occupied most of journalism, most of entertainment, most of academia, most of, I don't know what else there is. Like, it dominates our culture, and yet purport themselves to be victims and oppressed, right? And they're using that clout to cancel people and to say that things that we're not allowed to talk about. And I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, it's this group of people where they do have sacred cows. They do have things that you're not allowed to insult, right? Whereas like as a comedian or as an outsider, you can find the comedy in everything, right? Nobody is exempt from imperfection.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And like I can understand pretty much everything, but I don't understand the people that it's like it just seems that if you don't agree with every single thing that they agree with, then you're the enemy. And like I'm just so not like that. I have friends that believe like fucking Trump supporters. I have I'm not hanging around pieces of shit. Obviously as you grow up you weed out the pieces of shit. Yeah. But like just because you have an opposing view doesn't mean you're a bad person. And there seems to be this wave of people that it's just like I don't agree. I would say my favorite person in the world is my girlfriend, and I don't agree with at least a third of the shit she thinks. But we like
still making it work.
Yeah, we love each other. We're fucking happy, you know. And it's just it's weird to think that some people just can't get their.
Yeah, but I think it's because, and again, this goes back to this like it is very much a belief system where it's like if you believe this thing, you don't just believe a bad thing. You're a bad person. Mm-hmm. Right, and so and so if you think that people are bad or that what they say or do causes violence, then you're justified in whatever way you respond. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. It's like fucking. It's been a lot. Marilyn Manson was blamed for Columbine. You know.
Yeah, like I saw this shit. I was
always.
Yeah, I was a huge Marilyn Manson fan in the 90s. Yeah. I went through a goth phase.
Yeah.
Because I had too many friends.
Yeah, he was alright, and like towards... Well, now I would just say like towards the end, but he's still going.
He's still going.
But now I just think
he's getting Me Too like crazy.
He's a piece of shit. That's just what I think now.
Well, I know.
Like, I don't care how talented you are at a certain point. Like, when you pass the line of being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
No, I was, because I was in high school when Antichrist Superstar came out. That was a huge, because that was the album that came out after Sweet Dreams, the Sweet Dreams cover. Mm-hmm. That put them on the map. That was their next record, which is pretty much produced by Trent Reznor, and like most of it was him. Mm. And then, that record was huge, and then he came out with Mechanical Animals, and then I was kind of over it. Over being made fun of every single day at school.
Yeah, like the
You're a goth kid in the 90s. When, like, most of the kids in your school, like, listen to Fish, you're fucked. Like, just...
The goth kids exist still?
I think some do, but I think the goth kids got replaced by, like, scene kids that were, like, a lot of stripes. Like, cyber goths and stuff like that. I think the true goth stuff it does seem to be over.
Just black everything.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. They warn you about the lyrics on the Marilyn Manson record, but they don't warn you about like the permanent social effects.
Did you dye your hair a lot? Did you spike your hair and shit?
No, I did. When I went through like the nu metal thing, I had the Jinko jeans and I spiked up my undercut hair and because I couldn't get dreads. And
I had an undercut too.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, you feel the back of your head after your haircut. That's like the best part about being a boy.
Yeah,
it's the haircuts. Oh gosh, I went through a goth phase that wasn't good. Then the nu metal phase. I went through a Hawaiian shirt phase. I really did not have a lot of friends.
I have one Tommy Bahama shirt in my closet. I haven't worn it in like 3 years.
I'm like getting close enough to have that be my store.
Half the closet.
Yeah, that's why like I don't like any of the. I wear like hoodies. People make fun of me for wearing hoodies on stage because I look like I hang out at hockey rinks, but like I don't know what to wear anymore.
Buddy, I've broken all the rules. People like don't wear shorts. I'll be like, well, my next set I'm for sure wearing shorts now.
Is this like a fucking candy bin?
Don't fucking tell me. Okay, so this is a little bin or bucket or fucking thing of Japanese snacks.
Amazing. Did you order it?
Yeah, so it's like a monthly subscription.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I've seen people do YouTube videos on that.
And so I try not to mention them a lot because they don't sponsor me. Get with it, Tokyo Treat.
That should.
That would be sweet, man. But yeah, so you pick one, I'll pick one, and we'll fucking get into our top 5.
All right.
This says what it is if you can't read what it is and you want to know.
I picked mine. I saw chocolate and coconut, and I was like...
Oh, you got Pocky? I don't want to get
safe
fucking...
bet.
For sure it's a safe bet. Let's see. Alright, I'll try this. I don't know what it is.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Do it up.
Oh, cool. Alright.
It's just coconut?
Coconut and I mean, it looks like chocolate. I like Bounty. You can do that.
It's alright. I can't eat too many of them, though. But I do like them. Coconut?
Oh, okay.
The Bounty. Oh, okay.
When are you in a position to eat too much?
Oh, buddy, I'm the worst.
Oh, dude, come on. Look who you're talking to.
Now that I go...
I just blame the pandemic on why I'm so fat not eating Doritos at 9 a.m.
It's totally the pandemic, bro. Where the hell are these? I don't even see them on here. This is supposed to explain what is in my... Do you see him? Am I fucking blind? Mystery premium candy pack?
Maybe that's the one.
I don't know. But it tastes pretty...
Yeah, do you want to try one?
Yeah, dude.
I see grapes.
I don't think I've ever had a bad Pocky. Never had coconut, though. What flavor you think that that's what you think it is? Grape?
But there's something else, but it's mostly grape. I don't mind that. That's nice.
These are both a win.
Yeah.
I like both of these.
Successful.
All right, dude.
All right, top 5.
Since we were talking about comedians.
Yes.
I'll start with comedians.
Okay.
My first is Joe Rogan.
Okay.
My second is Chappelle. I'm going to just breeze through mine because I do these all the time.
Yep.
You can elaborate a little more if you'd like. Chappelle's my second. Comedian from Oakville, Mark Ford.
Okay.
He is my third. And then 4 is George Carlin. And 5 is Bill Burr.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to get on my list.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I'm really getting into, and I've been into him for a bit, but he has a new special coming out actually next week. Theo Von.
Yeah, he's really funny,
him, man.
I think I might have to change mine. Okay.
Oh no! Oh, there's one more.
I don't even like my list that I made the other day. There's too many, but like, okay. Norm Macdonald.
Hell yeah.
I was in high school while he was like doing SNL, so like I was all over that. Chappelle. Brian Regan.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, dude, I love Hedberg.
Tim Dillon.
All right.
I saw Tim Dillon just before the pandemic.
I didn't realize like a lot of people really like him.
He's really funny.
Yeah,
he's really good. I like his. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he was great.
I think he's just flying under the radar now. He's about to.
He needs a special. He needs an opportunity to blow up. Yeah, so he's I would say that he's like the newest one, but yeah, I always loved how Norm was like such like an anarchist. He would just like go for the jugular in every possible scenario. He would never like if people think that like Dave Chappelle gave up stuff, like Norm gave up everything because after SNL he did Dirty Work and he had a show and that was it, right? Like people knew there was no way he would ever play by the rules, and I always respected that. He was always so funny.
I think, like, when I think of... Do you watch the Comedy Central roasts?
Sometimes.
Okay, so I believe Norm Macdonald did the Bob Saget.
Was it Bob Saget's? Yeah.
I think it was Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And still, like, to this day, I've seen, like, pretty much all even the ones that weren't Comedy Central, there's, like, some other fucking off-brand one. And his roast of Bob Saget is probably the funniest. Him and like Andy Samberg probably have the two, oddly enough, those two, you wouldn't think, but they just have such a different approach to the way they did it and that's what I really loved about him.
Yeah, I you know what, and I'm going to give an honorable mention to Whitney Cummings because I think that I always think that she's funny. She's always steady and she's merciless on the roasts. Did you
know she's coming to Toronto next year?
I did not. I have tickets to Tim Dillon at the end of the year actually on New Year's Eve.
Nice. I want to go to Burr. I'm probably going to get tickets to see Bill Burr, but I haven't got him. I got a bunch of concert tickets.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to see Static X.
Oh, are you going to go with Brandon?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he wanted me to go.
Oh, yeah?
I think my concert days are over. I have tinnitus.
Yeah.
So I always has ringing, and like even at comedy shows, I bring earplugs because I feel like they're...
I know, we were like talking about it's like, all right, so like, we obviously want to be down on the floor a bit, but like, are we getting to that point where like at some, like we're going to want to sit down? Because we should have that option, you know? And it's like we're just deciding where do we want to
Early 30s is just standing at... you're still in the pit, but just standing outside of it. Standing at the back. I brought my wife to go see All Shall Perish once. And she was terrified.
Yeah, I got tickets.
You know All Shall Perish?
Who?
All Shall Perish, you know them? No. Do you go like for ultra heavy or no?
I'm all over the place, man. Like I'm seeing Chili Peppers next year too. I got tickets.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The most I've ever paid for concert tickets ever.
Yeah.
But like they're my girlfriend's favorite band, and I love them, and I feel like they're just, like, I want to see them at least once.
I'm sad I missed Prince before he died.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, and that bums me out.
Yeah, and I got fucking Backstreet Boys tickets. So that's where I'm at.
You're in a committed relationship.
Backstreet Boys. You know what, man? I'm not even that guy. Like, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. Like, I'm fully comfortable admitting that I like some Backstreet Boys. But, just to point, I'm just really trying to lay out where I'm at with music. Like, I really, truly try to avoid pop music. I'm not big on pop music at all. But, again, just like Chili Peppers, Backstreet Boys are one of those groups that's like, I definitely want to see them. I'd like to see, like, Britney Spears or fucking Spice Girls came back. I'd probably see them, too. I'm not even really super into them. I'd go for the show and just to be able to be like, oh, yeah, like, I saw them. I like those experiences, you know? I don't always have
There's always going to be some pop songs that, like, I love 80s pop.
Yeah.
Anything 80s, I will listen to all day and never touch it at all. But for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty down the line. But when I was in high school, I bought Christina Aguilera's first album because this was pre-Napster, so you know I fucking didn't have a choice. And then the version of the song that's in the music video is the radio edit, and it's not on the record. So the reason I bought the album, I couldn't even listen to the song I wanted.
I'd actually say, dude, to be honest, Christina Aguilera, like her second album. I can't remember what it's called. It might have.
Is that Stripped?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking decent.
Oh, I mean, she grabbed, is it Linda Perry, who produced Pink's second record. Mm. And yeah, Pink and Christina Aguilera wanted like a more legit, down-to-earth record for that one. Yeah, it's a good...
It went from Genie in a Bottle to that. And yes. It was just like, okay, you're a musician. I can hear it now.
Well, and when I was in high school, Britney Spears was the biggest of all of them.
For sure, yeah.
Like, she's just an entertainer, blah, blah, blah. She was like, you never realize when you're that young or outside of an industry how much work it is. Mm-hmm. Like, how much work that they put into that. It just, it blows my mind. I only had, like, one brush. We were doing the top 5. I had a brush with Timberlake in my guitar career.
All right.
Yeah. I could tell that story.
Yeah, do it.
You want to hear that?
Absolutely.
Right. So, even though I'm an okay player, but what I really know how to do is dial in tone.
Okay.
Like dialing in the sounds of the guitar, dialing in the effects, like your delay, your echo, your reverbs, all that stuff. I'm such a geek when it comes to tone. And so these friends of mine who are more legit, like one guy's a sound guy, one's a pro drummer, I said, hey, we're working with this pop artist. Will you help us dial in some tones for him because he doesn't sound that good? So they bring me out to this like recording space. I have no idea. And then like instantly I walk in and there's like records on the wall. Mm-hmm. And I walk into the space. It's this huge stage. They start bringing in, thank you, costumes, like wardrobe, like big frilly, fluffy coats and feathers and stuff like that, and dancers. I'm like, what the hell is this? But I dial in the tones. And they're like, welcome to the Man of the Woods tour. I'm like, holy shit, is this kid named Francesco? His name's Francesco Yates, like local Toronto kid.
Dude. Yeah. I know him.
So he opened for Timberlake, and I did his tones for him for the tour. Mm-hmm. And they wanted me there for the first day because Timberlake kicked off the show in Toronto. They're the tour in Toronto. So I take a day off work. I go in. I promptly sit for like 8 hours and do nothing while they're building the set. They're behind schedule. They don't get the sound check. And so I'm there, and like Jessica Biel is there.
Sweet. Just
as hot in person as you would imagine.
Yeah.
Timberlake's on stage. I realized a long time ago that like, oh, does something stop? The sound stopped. You're the sound meter. Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh, on the computer.
Yeah.
I thought you were. I was so into your story, dude. Like the sound stopped, and I was like, "Oh shit! What did Justin Timberlake do?"
No,
sorry. And then you're pointing at the computer.
No, sorry, I realized that. Sorry, so I realized that like for any solo, I hope that you're still getting.
No, sound. It's good. It's just yeah. No, that's fine.
Sorry.
No worries,
so Timberlake's on stage. I realized no celebrity wants to talk to me. So like I see him. I'm standing next to Francesco, and he looks at me. I'm like, I'll just like, hey, please don't look at me.
Yeah.
JT, go talk to Francesco. I do the gig. I end up like really doing nothing. I brought my Fender Strat as a backup. It got like kicked over by one of their crew. Like it was not a good day. And then I don't get paid. All my buddies were like, I'm like, should I talk about money? Should I figure out like what I'm getting paid? Should I invoice them? And they're like, they'll take care of you. That's what they keep saying. They'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And then the manager is like, yeah, we'll give you $150. I'm like, what the? I did like a day and a half of work for you. That's not even like minimum wage. And then he's like, yeah, we're trying to build our team. We're starting on the bottom floor, blah, blah, blah. So the writing's on the wall. If you want to be a part of our team of this pop artist that doesn't even have a fucking album, then you better shut your mouth and take the $150. He has no idea that I have an actual job or anything like that. But then months go by and I don't get paid. So then like I call up, I text the guy, I'm like, are you a man of your word or not? You said you were paying me. It's been multiple months. I know it doesn't take this long. And the guy calls me and he's fucking furious, just screaming at me. I'm at the gym and other people around are watching, like can hear the phone.
You gotta turn it down.
Yeah, like on a cartoon when like a mouth comes out of the phone and starts yelling. Totally, that's what that guy fucking did to me. I'm not that guy. You don't know who you're talking to. I'm like, you sound like that guy. Yeah. I am gonna try to make this into a bit somehow. And then he said, you'll never work with me again. And then I ended up getting $300. So there you go. It's kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah,
but that's the height of my music experience.
No, that's pretty sweet though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to see, but it did not end well.
I saw Francesco Yates or something on that's his name, right?
Yeah, Francesco Yates. Yeah,
Francesco. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I saw him at a Canada Day thing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and I was actually like, he's a
talented kid. I just think that like at the time, I think he got dropped by his label. I don't think he had an album ready yet. So like his management company is the same management company of Justin Timberlake. Mm-hmm. That's how he got the opportunity. But then he didn't have anything to follow it up with. Mm-hmm. So I think it was kind of just a lost thing. And I don't know what he's doing now.
All right, bro. Well, you said that. And as I was you said that Smashing Pumpkins, what's your favorite album?
Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness is their best album to me. Everybody seems to like Siamese Dream, but I like that album, and I think it's the greatest album ever. Yeah. It's
definitely their best album.
Yeah.
And you said that, and I was like, all right, let's do Smashing Pumpkins songs, and then I realized we could have just 4 of my 5 are from that album.
Yeah, all right, that's cool. Like I tried to spread it out because I feel like for me it's a great album. Because I've never heard anything after. I was 14 when it came out. It was the album that got me into music. It's the album that got me into playing an instrument. To be like head over heels obsessed with music, even at 38. Like I go onto record label websites to find different bands that I've never heard of. And like I'm that much of a geek when it comes to music. But to me, it's a double record, 28 songs. All of them are different. All of them are good. So it's like. And there's 28 of them. Like, I've never seen anybody do that.
The art's cool, the CDs look cool. This is the time when, that shit actually mattered.
Yes, oh my gosh. Every CD, I would go through every single word reading it multiple times. Obsessed.
I still have it.
Yeah, I want to get it on vinyl.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I'd love to... I had a record player, but I also had a newborn at the time, so I was like, I don't have time to listen to any records all the way through. And then Spotify came out, and then...
You do Spotify, eh?
Oh yeah, gotta have it. Just this week, Knocked Loose came out with a new record, and Mac Miller.
Mac Miller.
Posthumously, I suppose.
Okay, so it's just.
It sounds very much like a collection of B-sides. Oh, right. But okay, my favorite Smashing Pumpkins songs.
Yeah,
I'll go with songs. Okay.
Yeah, let's do
it. So on Siamese Dream, there's a song called Hummer. That's
I love that.
That's
song.
A great song.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
Pisces Iscariot. There's so that's the B-sides record that came out in between Siamese Dream and Melancholy, and that has a song called Whir, WHIR, that I love. On Melancholy, I still love 1979.
Yeah.
And Porcelina, Vast Oceans. And then I like Adore, but I'd say it's a little less consistent. And then there's a song called Try, Try, Try on the Machina record that I love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good, man. I kind of miss that...
It's definitely over.
Every once in a while, I go back to, like, I listen to, like, Smashing Pumpkins and Bush.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, yeah, little Nirvana. As much as I like Nirvana, like, when I am missing that sound, I always go to Smashing Pumpkins and Bush.
Yeah. I was never a big Nirvana fan. I always thought Foo Fighters were kind of boring. Mm-hmm. I liked, and then I liked Smashing Pumpkins, and then I heard the first Korn record just before Life is Peachy came out, and then I was all in for nu metal.
Yeah?
Yeah,
nice.
And I fell into that, and then that started to wear thin. I always liked other things too.
Yeah.
But like that was my main thing, and then I discovered Chimera and Meshuggah, and then I got into like real metal. And just in time for the metalcore rise in the mid 2000s.
All right. Number 1 for me, Zero.
Yeah.
Number 2, Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Yeah.
Number 3, Tonight. Hummers, number 4.
Yeah, that's and 1979.
And 1979.
With such a catalog, it was, how did we find 2? That's cool. And I saw them live touring that record at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've never seen them live.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them. They're still there. There's a possibility. You know?
He's still doing stuff. It's just not the same.
I'm still also holding out that one day I'll get to see Rage.
Like, well, didn't they tour?
They've done some stuff, but like it's.
Oh, they were going to, but did the pandemic cancel it?
I think they did. Like at least I think they did a couple shows,
okay.
But I think they were going to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the pandemic really kind of... I mean, really just... You lost 2 years of concerts, basically.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
everyone that's planning for concerts now or doing tours is starting next year, it seems.
Yeah.
Or I guess...
Some parts of the States are kicking off now, but...
Oh, in the States, yeah. But Canada's, like, at some point... There was... I remember there being a lot of festivals and stuff in Toronto, and now it seems like the only place they go to in Canada is Quebec.
Yeah, I think it's because Quebec is close enough to the U.S. border that they can just dip in and out. Whereas Toronto, you got to drive in a few hours to pull it off. But yeah, it sucks.
All right, so this was the hardest one for me because, in all honesty, like I had to, because he has so many, I had to Wikipedia Jim Carrey movies. I own a significant amount of them.
Yes.
But, like, there's so many good ones. So, like, before I do mine, I just want to say, like, I could do a top 20 Jim Carrey, and all of them would be solid movies. Like, he has... And also, I left out Kidding. Have you seen Kidding?
Kidding's on my list.
Oh, you put it... See, I was like, I don't know if I should put it there.
No, I think it's one of the best things he's done in recent years.
All right, I'm changing my list, and I'm going to put it... Okay, so number 1, and people fucking get at me for this, but it's... I think it's better than the first one, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. That is my favorite movie of his, dude.
I don't think it's better, but that fucking rhino scene, I literally wet my pants.
Yeah, the Chicago stuff and all. I saw it before I saw Pet Detective.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, I saw both in theater. Yes.
That was my introduction to Jim Carrey, and I've seen it more than any other of his movies. Dumb and Dumber is number 2. That is just, and people hate on it, but I still enjoyed the second one. Like, obviously not as good, maybe half as
Dumb and Dumber 2, T.O.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's
I even own the real shitty one, Dumb and Dumberer.
Yeah.
When Harry met Lloyd.
At the end of Dumb and Dumber 2, when he calls the old man a horny old goat, I died. Like, there is definitely some good moments in that movie.
There is, dude. Yeah. So yeah, Dumb and Dumber, the first one, is number 2. Man on the Moon. No, you know what? I'm putting Kidding in number 3. Okay, Kidding, just phenomenal. If you haven't seen that shit, it might be, I think it's because of the role that Dumb and Dumber and When Nature Calls played in my childhood. I just rightfully can't give the first spot to Kidding, but I think at the end of Jim Carrey's career, this might go down as his best body of work. I
feel like you've forgotten one, but we'll get to it.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Man on the Moon would be number 4.
Yeah.
And Truman Show would be number 5.
Okay, that's solid.
I also really like Liar Liar. I really like Pet Detective and The Mask and...
Yeah, see, I was like... So, what you were saying, like, who your favorite comics, like, one of the people who I idolized as a kid was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I was 12 years old in 1994, so I'm the market for... And then Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura all come out in the same year. And he's from Aurora, where I was from, in York region. I was from the same area. I idolized him. He was weird. He did accents. I did like I think I knew like every word to So I Married an Axe Murderer. I know that's Mike Myers, but like, yeah, I was all into those guys. Okay, my list though, number 1, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh my God! That's a good one too, man.
Yeah, that's like that's such a beautiful movie. Even if
that is a good one.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, the first one, Bruce Almighty.
Yeah,
I like that one, and Kidding. Yeah, I really liked Kidding. But
Bruce
Eternal Sunshine is my favorite.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Fuck, man. I also really like Fun with Dick and Jane. I think that one's like a fun one.
I actually don't think I saw that one.
Oh man,
I didn't see Yes Man either.
Oh, Yes Man's decent too.
Yeah.
Like I just there's so many good ones. It feels like when you're not. Like, I'm just going to yell out all the ones that I like because I don't want to do his service.
I watched 23 and I was like, meh.
That's my least favorite of his movies, for sure.
And then he's got, is it Dark Crimes?
Oh, you know what?
I didn't see that one. I
started watching it and I was like, I'm not really in the mood. Like, sometimes I'm just in the mood for something lighthearted or something. I don't know it. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to see this movie. And you put it on and you're like, oh, I'm not in that. I'm not feeling that vibe, as the young kids say. You know? Like, it's not the right vibe, so I turned it off like 20 minutes in, and I haven't gone back to it. But it doesn't look amazing.
It doesn't. It's not the best reviewed. That's for sure.
As a DC Comics fan, though, like I'm like, well, fuck reviews, man. Fuck reviews. Who's a critic? Everybody's a critic. It doesn't matter.
I'm stoked.
If you like some shit, fucking like it. Don't.
I'm stoked for the new Batman.
Yeah.
I think that he's a great actor. I think I've always wanted like a dark noir style Batman movie where they focus on him being the detective and not just like action all the time, and I hope that that's
fancy gadgets.
I hope that's what we're gonna get, but
it seems like it's more like, obviously I haven't seen it or anything, but I'm closely on top of everything Batman related, so I've heard it's going to be more of like a horror movie.
Yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
Like his early years, so that's like the real detective years, you know? So
yeah, I'm excited.
Let's do it. Let's go with superheroes then.
All right.
My number 1's Batman.
Yeah, me too.
Red Hood. Oh, pardon?
How can you not?
I know. Yeah. I know. He's got to be on there. Red Hood's number 2. Arsenal is number 3. Spider-Man, number 4. And Shazam. But I really, and I have this like battle all the time, but Ninja Turtles, like they're like just them as a whole was like some of the first.
If Spider-Man counts, they count.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like those are like the main 3 that really got me into this world that I'm like heavily into is, Batman, Spider-Man, and Ninja Turtles.
I remember watching that movie, the first Ninja Turtles movie, and it was I was just so blown away.
Amazing.
Oh, so good.
Amazing.
It was so dark.
Dude, it had such a small budget, and like nobody had faith in it, and
it killed. It killed in the box office.
It's still to this day like one of the best comic book movies.
Yeah, I dragged my dad to that. And the first Batman with Michael Keaton.
I had that was epic too, man.
Yeah. Oh, because that was the first time he was in a black suit.
Yeah.
Nobody had seen that before. That was totally brand new.
Yeah, and as much as you like Adam West,
no,
it's like it was very cartoony, and it was.
No, I mean it was the 60s.
Yeah. What about you, man?
Okay, so what I was never super into comics. When I was 11, I went through a phase where I bought like every Superman and every Batman. Batman's obviously the coolest, but Superman, I mean, why wouldn't you want to be Superman? You get to be like godlike powers. This is what I like about Superman too, is he's a good guy, right? Like Superman is a good-looking guy, godlike powers, has a job, marries one chick. He's a good. Yeah. I like.
You're
that.
basically Superman.
I'm fatter and.
You're Superman without the powers. You're man.
I'll do that.
Man.
You said I don't have to pick comic book people to be my superhero, so I'm going to choose my wife. She is the best person and I'm very lucky. She's like she has no flaws to me, which is difficult because I'm full of flaws.
Yeah.
Like I said to my wife the other day, I'm like, you know what? Hard alcohol doesn't taste as bad to me as I remember. She's like, the last thing you need is a new vice.
yeah, right.
No, that's awesome, man. I keep it there.
It's awesome to have a good person in your life. Support from, my girlfriend has gotten me to where I am. As much nobody really knows she's the unsung hero of like my stand up and my fucking podcast. Like she's basically my PR person.
Yeah.
Like anything I write, I'm like, so what do you think about this?
Yes.
Is it worded right? Should I put a comma there?
Yeah. My wife doesn't laugh at anything I do.
Yeah, it's really I'm at this point where I just don't even run my jokes. I'm like, well, you'll see them when you see them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
My wife has still never seen me go.
Oh, really?
I've done stand-up 47, 48 times. And she has not been to any of them.
I didn't realize when did you start?
May.
Really? Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, again, my wife being the unsung hero, because, I've spent 2019 and 2020 being, like, super depressed. Mm-hmm. My wife said, like, you're basically a dead body that changes rooms in the house.
Yeah.
Now I'm out of it, and I just, like, I knew it was now or never to go for the thing that I always wanted to do, and I'm fucking doing it.
Hell yeah, man. And you're good at it, dude. I wouldn't even have guessed that you started. I was thinking, like, a couple years, but... That's awesome,
that's the feedback I'm getting from people, is that I seem a little further along than I am, but then, I did a show at Cathedral on Sunday, and I saw... Braden Lynch, Ethan O'Reilly, and Drew Bame. And
Drew's crazy funny, dude.
It was humbling.
I feel like Drew's the kind of guys, like, whenever I see him, it's like, I feel like he doesn't do material. He's just, like, speaking what his brain is.
Well, he said he's been doing it since he was 15, or something like that, so...
He's so good.
Yeah, they're so natural. I'm still doing the beginner... set up punch.
Mm-hmm.
But I really learned a lot from watching them, how they take a premise and unpack like every possible element out of it. Like get a full 5 minutes just out of one subject.
Yeah.
Like I put that down as like one of my goals, is to try to get to that point where I can talk about one thing, have it consistently funny, and just unpack it.
I like the best part about having my own show now, or like putting together the monthly show, is that I'm working on the crowd work. I know at least like a quarter of the crowd is there for me. I just feel really comfortable in that space.
Yes.
And so I'm working on my crowd work, because there's nothing that really is more jaw-dropping to me than, like, I saw Chris D'Elia in Hamilton, and there's some local guys that are really good with crowd work. Marito Lopez, fucking Liam Kelly.
Liam Kelly is like a monster with crowd work.
Yeah,
he is so fast on his feet. It's crazy.
But like when I saw D'Elia, someone coughed in the crowd, and he did like a solid 15 off the cough, and I was just like, this guy is like a master. Like that kind of stuff.
Those are the days that you're just like, I should quit.
Holy, no, for real. It's like, if he's doing comedy, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, all right, and documentaries.
Yes. Yeah.
This is good.
You've already done horror movies. I'm out of my horror movie phase anyway.
What is your favorite horror movie?
That's tough, because it's like you could go for scariest.
Yeah.
Scariest experience, and it probably will make people unhappy, but I saw the first Paranormal Activity.
Oh, I thought you were going to say mine. Okay, go.
Before the hype machine got it, when it was only going to be in Toronto for one weekend and that's it. Mm-hmm. That was the scariest movie experience that I'd ever had. But best is this Swedish one called Let the Right One In.
Okay.
It's the Swedish vampire one. It's great.
All right, I'll check that out. I had also, I think, if I was going to go with scariest, mine is very similar in the way that it was made, because, I mean, it was presented as if it was real. The original Blair Witch.
Oh, yeah, classic.
When that came out, and that was a time, now you can Google, and you can see that they're actors and stuff. But back then, like,
Oh no,
you didn't have a computer. Everyone didn't have fucking smartphones and computers at their house, so it's like for a long time I like thought that was real.
No, they entered it into festivals as a documentary to like mess with people.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was good. And you know what? Want to know how dumb I am? Is that I have a younger sister, like a half sister, and I was at her soccer game the night after I watched the movie, and while I'm watching the soccer game, I'm like, he was in the corner. I didn't even like piece it together in the movie.
Yeah, like I watch it now, and it's like obviously it doesn't affect me the same way. But when I think about it, it's like no movie affected me the way that movie affected me. And for the first few years, and then eventually it was like, oh no, like they won awards for the movie.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
my wife and I watched Paranormal Activity, and that was the last one that last horror movie she ever watched with me.
Really?
Yeah, she was done after that.
She didn't like it. Yeah, it's fucked. It's pretty decent.
It's again before the hype machine got to it, and like every time it would switch to the night camera, it just created more dread because you knew shit was coming and that it was going to be more intense than the night before. And like, I don't know. I thought they did a good job.
I think the first couple Paranormals were good, but I don't even know where they're at if they're like 5
They're relaunching
or 6.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're relaunching it. It's going to be on Paramount Plus.
All right.
But yeah, they're redoing it. I thought like the one that took place in the 80s was pretty good. I think that was 3.
Yeah.
But the rest were.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They just recently did Saw. Did you see the new one? It was Spiral.
Spiral, yeah. Brandon was supposed to be like in that, but got cut.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I haven't watched it though, but I think it's on Crave, so I might watch it. Documentaries though.
All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm good either way. I can go. I record. This was very difficult for me because me too, dude. As entering my older adult life, that's what I tend to enjoy. But
you watch a lot too, and it's like I really have to kind of. I download some things, and so I look at that and look at what I own and try to figure out, and then it's like, wait, but I don't own everything that I love, you know?
I go to, I make use of my IMDb account where I have like my list of everything that I want to watch and all my ratings, so if I ever want to go back. So my favorite documentary is it's a PBS documentary, and it's called The Farthest, Voyager in Space, and it's all about the Voyager satellites. Yeah, that we sent out NASA sent out in 1977. At the time the documentary came out, which was a few years ago, all the people who were a part of that were still alive, and it got me into space stuff. I'm so fascinated with space exploration. Yeah,
I've watched like every Apollo. Like I've learned.
Yeah, about the Apollo 11
every one that has gone wrong. I've looked at. Oh, dude, crazy.
I love space stuff. Yeah. Like I'm counting down the days for when the James Webb Space Telescope gets launched in December. Have you heard about this?
No.
It's the replacement for Hubble.
Oh, okay.
And it's enormous, and it's all about getting infrared, which means it can see further back into the cosmic past. So we'll be able to, like, I don't know, find out where the fuck all this came from, maybe, or be able to see exoplanets directly without, like, because right now it's just implied. You see their shadow go across a star. Yeah. But, like, we haven't seen an exoplanet directly. So this James Webb Space Telescope will actually get.
When does that happen?
December.
Yeah.
Okay. As we've already discussed, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond.
Oh, love it.
Great documentary. Love it. There's this documentary called Silicon Cowboys, and it's all about the creation of compact computers. Yeah. How they essentially created the culture of Silicon Valley that they have now. Like that all started with Compaq, these 3 dudes in Texas. It's a cool story. I thought it was awesome. I liked it. It was on Netflix for a little bit.
Do you ever watch Silicon Valley, that show?
Yeah, it's great.
I love
it. Yeah. Going Clear, the Scientology documentary that was on HBO.
Oh, you know what? I have seen that. Yeah, I have seen that.
I find Scientology so fascinating. Like, I've gone down so many rabbit holes.
Yeah, I've watched a lot. Yeah.
I actually want to get the Bridge to Total Freedom poster. I want that. I want to have that somewhere in my home.
I stopped watching the Leah Remini thing, though, because it just felt like it was... Like, I get it and I understand. I stopped watching after season 2 because every story was just like... It's the same thing.
Yeah, different but I heard in season 3 they started to talk about different cults.
Oh,
they started to change their stance, and they're going like they stopped focusing on Scientology.
Okay,
but I haven't really watched a lot of those, but I do want to get that. And the last one is it's called Have You Seen the Listers? And it's about this painter from Australia named Anthony Lister, and it's just about like his rise and experience being a painter. And I thought that was really cool. I liked it.
Decent.
Yeah. Okay, you.
Do you like wrestling at all?
Not really.
Okay, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Yeah. My first one is, it's a series, but it's so good that, I mean, it's like basically just the reason we put kidding on the Jim Carrey list, but Dark Side of the Ring. It's like tells you a lot of, and it deals with when I was like first getting into wrestling, like Ultimate Warrior, what happened with Owen Hart. Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with like Owen Hart or Chris Benoit. It goes into like details of all like
that's
the
what I was trying to remember,
and
I wasn't sure if Owen Hart was that similar to Benoit. What happened with him?
Owen Hart was like suspended from like above an arena and was supposed to like come down as part of like the show, and then and
they dropped him.
It broke and he fell to his death like at a pay-per-view, and they like continued the pay-per-view, and it was like I
saw a documentary when I was in university called Hitman Hart. Okay. And it was all about Bret Hart and like him leaving the WWF. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like about that period of time. So that was, I mean, it's I feel like when you go deep into any subject, it becomes fascinating. Yeah. Right? Like, I don't have to like wrestling to be fascinated by that industry and how it works.
Or even like just, I think the show, non-wrestling fans would find it fascinating. My girlfriend she acts like she doesn't like shit, but like I can see when she's interested or when she's on her phone not paying attention when there's some shit on. So, but Dark Side of the Ring #1, Comedian,
great.
It's #2, and here's the thing.
I just rewatched that. It's great.
Yeah, it is so good, and I'm not a huge. That's actually the and I only watched it for the first time maybe like 3 years ago. My first Second City instructor, he brought it up. And so I watched it after that, and that's where my appreciation for Seinfeld came. And I'm not really too big on his stand-up, I'll be honest. I've watched 2 of his specials, and I wasn't crazy about them, but I think the way his mind works, and he has such a...
Well, he's such a prolific writer, and I think he peaked at I'm Telling You for the Last Time. I think that which was the 90s. I think that was his best one.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
But I think afterward was kind of whatever. His last one I really didn't like.
Yeah,
that one.
And my third one is OJ, Made in America. I'm pretty much.
I've never heard of that one.
It was I think a 5-part docuseries, HBO, I believe. Okay. HBO or like one of those like fancy fucking channels, What's the other one? There's HBO. I feel like there's one more. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Showtime?
It might be. Yeah, it might be Showtime. And and pretty much anything. It's kind of how you feel about space. And I love space. I love all that shit. I really am just fascinated with it. But that's kind of how I feel about the OJ case. I'm like, whatever it is. Oh, some like random dude
all in
like Austria made a 30-minute documentary on OJ. Like, I'm watching that shit.
How old were you during the trial?
I wasn't old enough. I became fascinated like 5-6 years ago.
Okay,
and everything I learned, I'm like,
when I was in school, they interrupted class to tell us what the verdict was.
Oh, wow.
That was the only time that had ever happened.
No, that never happened. That happened for 9/11 for me.
Oh, yeah. That was my second day of university ever.
Oh, shit.
It happened in the morning. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was the craziest fucking day. You're just like, oh, my God, Jesus is coming back. That's what this means.
Yeah. I didn't really know how to take it. It was like... And then, like, I was in drama class, and I don't know how it worked, but at the time, our drama teacher was like, we're not doing class today, like, this is going on. He brought in the fucking cart with the VCR and shit. Yeah. And he, like, put on a news channel, and we watched as the second plane went into the fucking, the thing, and it was just like, this is fucking wild, man.
It's wild. Yeah, it's wild. I feel like it'll be the event that marked the end of the West. I think it's that significant.
My fourth one is a mountaineering documentary.
Yeah, that's
it's just kind of, like you said, like, like I'm not super into mountaineering.
Yeah.
But it's just done so well and it's so interesting and like it's one of the most motivating documentaries I've ever seen. Bro.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta watch it. Have you seen The Last Dance?
I don't know.
The Michael Jordan one.
Oh yeah.
That's like it like I feel like it has its own category. I didn't put it into my list, but like I've watched that one multiple times.
It's so
good.
Like,
it's so well. It's like Michael Jordan's so motivating. I try to transpose the things that like he says in there to like comedy, like how he talks about how, you know, I let my game do all the talking.
Yeah.
Like, don't big yourself up. Don't talk about whatever. Just be good at what you do, and that focus on that, and the rest will come.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's a really good one too. Didn't make the cut though. Number 5, You Cannot Kill David Arquette.
Okay, I know of that. I've seen like the trailer for it, but I didn't watch it. But I got the gist.
I'm actually a fan of David Arquette as like an actor, comedic actor, whatever the fuck. He's an actor. And when he originally did his wrestling run, like it's about him returning to the wrestling world.
Yeah.
And trying to just be more legitimate this time, because he came out with a movie Ready to Rumble back then, and then he ended up in like real pro wrestling. He won the world title.
Yeah.
And he's just been like no one like that.
Is he big? Is he jacked now?
Not really. No. He's more muscular, but like he's old too, dude. Yeah. Like there's no way. Like this is.
Well, I mean, they're mostly on roids, so I would expect
a lot of them for sure. But like, there's definitely a new wave of like wrestling where a lot of these, like, there's wrestlers that are like smaller than me that are like my size. It's way more accepted now. Back then, especially with like Vince McMahon and shit, because he's like, I mean, he's for sure on roids.
Yeah.
Like, he's the most jacked, like, 70-year-old you'll ever see in your life.
He looks like Stallone.
Bro.
He's
like
crazy.
Stallone in his peak.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, and he's like 70, you know? So, I don't know. I'm glad that you have to be big to be a good, you know, wrestler, because it was just... Yeah. I mean, that's why they have Dark Side of the Ring now, because of, like, there was just so much shit, but... Well, yeah. He legitimized himself, I think, as a wrestler. Yeah. And, like, basically almost died doing hardcore matches and stuff. Yeah. So I mean,
it's great. People love wrestling. Like I it's not my thing, but like Billy Corgan, didn't he have his own?
Yeah, no. I think he is the president of. He was doing some. I want to say NWA. Yeah, but I'm not sure. But he's definitely involved in the wrestling world, like currently. Yeah, yeah. He loves wrestling. I just love performance. Like I love like you said you're into theater. Like I like going to see that kind of stuff. Me and my girlfriend are gonna go see some sort of like opera thing where they're doing like Halloween songs from like popular movies and shit like that. That's cool. I don't even know if it's just Halloween songs. She went through the list of all the songs they're doing, and I know it's opera. Yeah. Okay. I've never been to opera, but I'm like, it's just. I
saw Miss Saigon when I was a kid. Yeah. It's an expensive.
I'm not exactly. I'm not necessarily too excited. I know what opera brings to the table, but I definitely same reason I want to see fucking Backstreet Boys. Like I just like the performance and the experience, and like it. Even if it's not like your favorite thing, it's still good to take those things in sometimes. You know?
For sure. Oh, and like when I saw Justin Timberlake, because I got to go to the show. Like, man, he put on a good show. Every single musician is a murderer on his team. Yeah. Adam Blackstone, do you know who he is? No. Anyway, he's like one of the best bass players in the world. He was like the musical director. Because what a lot of people like don't know, like, so when I was doing music in the church world, the guy who, when I was like at my peak, like playing in front of thousands, the guy who was like the leader of our band was like on The Voice. Mm-hmm. And so like you'll have somebody in your ears who's talking, who the audience can't hear, be like, okay, we're going to do this next. We're going to do that. So he's like, that's what like a music director does. Is he talks to the band, but the audience can't see or hear that he's doing that.
I remember when I earned respect for Timberlake was the SARS Fest. And it was like, I think it was SARS Fest, and there, you know, it's like basically a classic rock and roll kind of lineup, and then Justin Timberlake.
He was pelted with bottles. I remember.
He embraced it. Yeah. And I was just like, that's some punk rock shit, Justin. Yeah. Like, good for you, dude. And as much as I don't really, there's a few songs by Timberlake I don't mind, but I see what he brings to the table, and I'm not saying he's. I actually think he's funnier. I like his comedy better than I like his music, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, I wish John Hamm did more comedy. Yeah. Like, every time he was on SNL, he was a murderer. He was so funny. Bad choices. What is this?
All right, so I end every episode with just it's just cards.
Okay.
That maybe lead to stories. You know, you ask me. You can still answer the card even though you're reading it. It's just kind of okay. Some of them can be lame, some of them can be good, but let's do it. Do you like to talk dirty during sex?
No.
Do you like dirty talk during sex? Sorry, I worded that wrong.
No, that's okay, but no. I prefer not to talk at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you like the... Well, I guess you're married, so...
Yeah.
Do you like your wife to talk dirty, or your...
It feels weird.
Yeah? Yeah, I feel like... Like, I'm not like the dad, oh, call me daddy. Like, I find the whole daddy thing fucking weird.
That's bizarre, yeah.
Even as a dad, you think that's weird, even though she's your baby mama?
No, it's worse.
Oh, it's worse?
Yeah, it's definitely worse. No, I think if it makes sense for that person to do it, I could see. Mm-hmm. But, like, if that's not you...
Yeah. When I first started dating my current girlfriend, like, we weren't living together, obviously. And
do you live together now?
We do. Yeah, I feel like I just heard her walk by, but she's been in the bedroom. Just holding the dog down because he's pretty rambunctious. I don't want to make much extra noise, but she would be like, you know, at her place talking on the phone, like, oh, talk dirty to me. And I feel like a little bit in person is decent. I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but over the phone, I definitely can't do it. No. It's super, super awkward.
No.
I wouldn't say I'm super into it either.
No, all right. Have you ever given or received a golden shower?
No.
No.
I haven't met anybody that was into that.
No.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying I wouldn't do it to somebody. Here's the thing. I would never want one. First, I just want to take that off the table.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm a giver. You know? Like, if I was with somebody, you know, and I love them and they like that, under the right circumstances, I feel like I would. Like, okay, we'll do this, and you can do whatever you're doing, but we have to do it in the bath, and you have to shower immediately after.
That's the only episode. This is my wife thinks is the funniest thing ever, which is the only episode of Sex and the City that I ever saw was when Carrie is dating a guy who's like rich or whatever, and he asks her to pee on him, and she's like, I could pour hot water on you in the shower, maybe. Like that's that's the only one I ever saw. But no, I'm good with keeping excrement out of the bedroom.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think your parents did a good job raising you?
No.
Oh.
No.
Why not, Jay?
No, my parents got divorced when I was like 7. Leading up to that was like pure chaos. Where like the only surprising thing about their divorce was learning that the word divorce is I learned the word divorce as what I knew was the inevitable conclusion of what was going to happen. Like I knew as a very small kid that this was not sustainable, that my parents fought like crazy. Like this is one of my jokes, is like parents always say that it's not your fault. And it's just like at no point ever did I think it was why would I think it's my fault because I pushed too hard to get Batman on VHS? Like it's not my fault. Like it was patently obvious that it's not my fault. And I wasn't, so I talked about doing like Christian praise music, but like I wasn't raised in a Christian home at all. And I did 10 grams of magic mushrooms and met God, and that's how I like got started on that journey when I was like 17. And then I went out to this church because I got a job at a shoe store, and one of the guys who worked at the shoe store was like a youth leader. I don't know if you've ever done like church stuff, but they have like youth night for like at churches, and so like he got me to come out, and I did, and then like got to have the best experience doing church. I know that a lot of people have really bad experiences, but I feel like I got the best of what the church could do.
See, I have
and the church raised me to be a good person, like a better person.
Good, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's hard. Like how could anybody take away like experiences like that? I feel like early in my life, I've never really been a super religious person, but in my teens, I met some. What are they? Not Mormons.
Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, Church of
Latter-day
Jesus
Saints.
Yes.
Those are Mormons.
The LDS. Oh, they are Mormons.
They are Mormons,
Fuck me, okay.
Mormon's like the derogatory term for them because they have the Book of Mormon, so they get called Mormons, but yeah.
Yeah, so I met some young, like, guys that were, like all three of them were down from Texas.
Yeah.
And as part of that, like you have to do service work for the church,
you got to do
right?
your every good Mormon needs to do their 2-year mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like I met them, they were doing their missionary work at my door, and and I was at my foster home, and then we just started talking, and they were just like, because they were like my age.
Yeah.
But they were doing this stuff, and I was like I was fascinated, I was interested, like, these guys are cool. Like all these people who do this aren't fucking weirdos. And so like they would come, there was one that was a little older, and he ended up talking with my foster dad, and they would come like every so often, and that got me interested. I wouldn't say I was like trying to become Mormon, but it got me to
it got me
to go to their Sunday. Like I was raised Catholic.
Okay, yeah. My dad was raised Catholic, and so he's turned off by, like, me choosing to go to church was such an affront to him.
Yeah,
because he like rejected it.
Yeah, and it was like it was interesting, and a lot of things I didn't agree with, but they were very open, and I did some of those days where like they would go to like, you know, a big park and have a barbecue, and you just like play flag football or whatever, you know. And there it just changed my mind about those kind of people, and I went from being like, I don't know, I used to be a dick and see like preachers and be like, okay buddy, we get it, like give it a rest, you know, be the dick, and then meeting these people, it's just kind of,
I mean,
they came into my life for a reason.
Yeah, well, I still feel like that. Like, I've always grown up feeling like an outsider, and I feel like I was cultured not inside the church. Mm-hmm. And so then when I started going in my late teens, I was not like everybody else. Like, none of the, like, for me, the cultural big thing for my age group, like early millennial Gen X, was The Simpsons. And so, like, but all the kids that went to church weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons. So, like, my brother and I speak to each other in Simpsons quotes. And, like, all these church kids have no idea what I'm talking about. But at the same time, you meet these... I meet pastors all the time where I'm like, is there a real person in there? Or are you just doing, like, a pastor character?
Yeah.
Like, And I've seen fucked up stuff, too.
Yeah, I was raised in foster homes, and I don't know my dad.
Yeah.
My mom is, well, obviously I haven't, well, I guess it's not obvious to you, but I haven't talked to my mom in like over 15 years.
Wow, okay.
Do you know what I mean? So I actually messaged her on Facebook. We had a brief 2-message each thing on Facebook that didn't go well, and that was like, you know, the most I've talked to her in 15 years, but into drugs and just wasn't in my life, so I would definitely say no as well.
Yeah, it's I had to make the choice 2 years ago that I didn't think keeping a relationship going with my dad was tenable. Mm-hmm. And it's hard when you have to make those decisions.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Everyone's got their
more?
Shit. Yeah, let's do one more. That sounds
get
fun.
Out of here.
Maybe end on a positive
Yeah, maybe. Let's do. If you don't like it, you can just put it in there and do another one. It's your call.
Yeah, they're all sex related. Have you ever said "I love you" too early? Probably. Probably with my wife I did.
Yeah, I don't know if it's... I wouldn't be able to be the person to, you know, be able to accurately say. I don't think I have. But maybe you know, someone who wasn't feeling the same would be like, "Whoa, man, it's a little too early." How much into the relationship did you tell your wife you loved her?
I don't even know if we were like fully dating yet.
Oh yeah? How long have you been with her?
We've been married for 14 years.
14 years?
Yeah. So this is the thing about the Christian culture, though, is that like that I think I took as a positive, but most people probably will not, which is that is being marriage minded in your dating. And so like I would see girls that I was interested in, but as soon as I got like a red flag or something that told me that it wasn't going to go the distance, I would end it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be particularly invested before that happened. So my wife was the one where it was like an instant, like, I think she's awesome. She had a boyfriend when we first met. It took some time for him to be jettisoned. But I knew that he would. I just knew that it wasn't going to end well. So I just like waited. And then, but yeah, I just knew that she was special. So.
You said it first, yeah?
I may have. I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I did. My girlfriend said it first.
Okay.
And we were like in an argument. It was like, all right, I guess the argument's over.
Yeah.
You know, because I felt it too, but I hadn't said it. And then...
I really wish I had to use that to win the argument.
Well, you know, it would have been one on my side.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, okay. It's weird how things come out.
How long have you guys been together?
Just over 2 years.
Okay, that's cool.
We were together maybe 2 months before we actually started officially. Yeah, it's like it's weird now.
Before
it's
you were going steady, as they used to say.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
That's cool.
It's just how do you even make that happen in 19? I guess that's when we met.
Yeah, so what's next? Are you gonna get moving here?
We got a dog.
Okay.
We got a cat. I had a cat already, so we don't have any space for any more animals. And
I mean, like marriage, but sure.
Friends. Marriage. See, here's the thing, dude. I'm not sure. I was engaged before.
Okay.
And I'm not. If my girlfriend wanted to get married, I would do it. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
But like in my eyes, like we're like already married. We live like a married couple. You know.
Did you know that people who cohabitate are 50% more likely to get divorced though?
That's real.
Yeah.
So what? Like wait. So
if you live
do
together,
you live with your wife?
I did not live with my wife before we got married.
Okay, well you do now.
Yeah, I do now.
So like,
obviously.
Yeah, but like your statistic, you tossing that out makes me think like 50% more likely if you live together. Yeah. So it's like, is there any marriage where the wife and husband are together and don't live together? Or it's just like
live together first or at all?
After. Do you think married people have to live together?
I think helpful. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I would imagine that there's like guys in bands who are on tour all the time.
Yeah, I guess.
Like they're not home or comedian, you're not home all the time. Yeah,
somebody who travels for work. Yeah,
but two separate, especially when you have kids, I can't see how that works.
Yeah, my girlfriend is definitely talking about baby stuff and things like that. So I mean, we're on that path. Yeah. But
you'll never be ready until the baby comes anyway.
Marriage.
So
that's where I'm coming from. Like my last relationship, my girlfriend she had like a daughter. My ex fiance. I don't know what the fuck to call her. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got into that and. When we first broke up, I wasn't interested in having kids. Yeah. But I think it was just bitterness and I need time just to heal.
No, it's weird. Like when my first daughter was born, it's nobody prepares you for that. There's nothing you can really say, because the weirdest thing was like you think that you'll love them right away, that you'll have these feelings, but you don't.
Yeah.
Like it took they're not Bill Murray. You don't love them right away. But yeah, it took like a few days. But then I felt like the Grinch. Like my heart grew. Like my capacity to love grew.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how you see them. You see them as like an extension of yourself. It's bizarre to be like truly happy for another person when something like good happens to them.
So if you were to go back to pre-kid, pre-children, what's like one piece of advice like that you would give to yourself that you were ignorant to then that you know now?
About having kids?
Yes, like just one piece of advice, like the biggest thing that you didn't think of or.
I think with babies, it's all about practical, and like there is nothing more important than sleep. So like I read like baby books on like sleep training and things like that, and I think that we ended up doing well because we did that, because we were a little tougher. Because like a lot of parents, they think if the baby's crying that there's something wrong. But like first of all, if like I would set a timer, we put the kid down, and then I would set a timer for 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes felt like an hour, but like. At 6 minutes, they fall asleep, right? And so, like, just being patient enough to let them struggle through that, and like just being aware of like, oh, they've got that weird stare. So, and I think the other thing is like not having expectations for their life or who they're going to be. Just like love them through who they are and what they want to do. And then I think like if you can put those expectations aside and just worry about like training them to be successful in the world at whatever it is that they want to do, then. I don't know. My dad, my parents wrote me the book on what not to do, so I just I just do the opposite. So I don't scream, I don't spank. I'm always high.
Yeah, my thing is like, I feel like if hitting worked, like I was hit as a child.
Me too.
And I know a lot of people who were, and a lot of people are very successful or very happy or at a place they want to be in life, despite that. But like, my take has always been, hey, if hitting worked, nobody would be hit more than once.
Yeah.
It would only needed to be done once, and then they would learn their lesson.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not...
No, like, I could see that when my dad would spank us, that it was like an extension of his anger.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like... like, I had a friend whose dad was like, if you do this, this will happen, we'll have a talk about it. Like, it was always very controlled. It was always part of, like, this is how we discipline... I think there is a right way to do it if you want to parent that way, but I feel like it's increasingly less tolerable. But I also think that, like, yeah, it's like out of anger. I just remember being like as young as 6 years old and thinking to myself, I'm not going to cry so I don't give him the satisfaction of knowing he hurt me. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a fucked up thing to think when you're 6 years old.
Yeah, man.
Like, and my brother reminded me, he's like, yeah, I remember you never cried. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't cry. And I did that on purpose. Totally, like, came rushing back, that memory.
Hard as fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just like, there was this episode of Mad Men where Betty was getting mad at Dawn for not, like, disciplining or spanking their kid more. He's like, my dad hit me and all it did was make me fantasize about killing him. And I was like, oh, I so identify with that.
All right, man. Well, I guess we can wrap her up. You can let everybody know where to get at you. If you want.
Yeah, you can find me at Rainville Comedy on Instagram. I'm doing the Yuck Yucks amateur night on Tuesday.
That's dope, man. Yeah.
And I've got...
This will be out on Tuesday, so if you hear it, early enough, go out.
And then, I've got some shows at Comedy Bar in November. I've got a couple, and otherwise I'm just grinding and trying to get as good as I possibly can, as quick as I possibly can.
Hell
That's
yeah,
it.
Man.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Fuck, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, good talk.
Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 30%. Go get your tickets for the monthly show. The next one is October 29th, 11 p.m. at Comedy Bar. And unsure about the November show, but there will be one in December for sure. And I'm pretty sure Jay's going to be on that. He's supposed to be on November's, but...
I'll be on whenever you need me on,
that's up in the air.
Exciting.
Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Peace the fuck out, guys.
Bye, everyone.